Welcome to one more episode of Building Families in the Faith. I am Brian Johnson. This is my gorgeous wife, Rebecca, and we're glad you're with us again today. We're going to talk about a few pitfalls of school-age children as we do some things or don't do some things, and how we can better rear our children.
Yes. So today, in the first pitfall we're going to talk about is a growing problem in society in which children are not expected to do any work around the house. So the scenario is this. It's the end of the day. Everyone has come home. If you are not a homeschool mom, your children have come home from whatever school they attend. Very often if they attend school, mom tends to work outside of the home. Of course, dad is working outside of the home. And everybody piles in the house at the end of the day. And the children go turn on the TV or get on computer games, cell phone games, whatever, social media, because we're talking school age, and sadly younger and younger children are getting on social media.
Yep.
And mom works like a dog doing all of the household chores. Mm-hmm. The laundry, the mopping, the vacuuming, the cleaning, the everything. And we have more and more moms now who are folding their child's laundry, putting it away for them. They're picking up their toys. Mm-hmm. They literally do every single thing for the child.
Before we go into the child aspect of this, if we believe that the man should be providing for the family financially, and that the wife should be able to stay home and not have to work. However, if you do not have that and your wife is working, let me also throw in here that you as a husband, since your wife is helping financially, you as a husband, when you get home, you need to be helping her with the house chores. And even if she's just a stay-at-home mom, you can be helping with the house chores and helping her. But especially if she's working out in the work field, secular world, or even in the ministry for that matter, you need to be doing a lot of things to be able to help her, and you're not overburdening her with all the work of the at home,
right,
cleaning
right.
and cooking.
Exactly.
And all that kind of stuff.
And we discussed that when we were talking about marriage. We discussed roles and how you can get out of a mindset that it's the woman's job to pretty much do everything and the man's job to do nothing at home. You need to divide and conquer. But if you have children, you are missing a golden opportunity if you do not put those kids to work. Children need to learn to work.
Yes, it's not just a matter of helping mom and dad, honestly, and that's the minimum of it. The Bible does clearly state if you don't work, you don't eat. And that should include our kids as well. So we do need to be training them, even as we're here at kindergarten age. It's a perfect time to start developing their character, developing their skills of things in the home. And one of the things, yes, it'll be a help to mom and dad, as they do some of the laundry, as they do some of the household cleaning, as they do the dishes and these other things. It does help mom and dad, obviously. But the main thing that we're trying to accomplish here is create a discipline and create a character in our children. And so we want them, as young as possible, honestly, to start working in the home. No, we're not talking about child slavery and all this kind of stuff that the world wants you to think of about kids working. And of course, we're not sending them out to the work field to make money for us. But we are trying to develop a character in our children.
Yes. So we discussed when you had toddlers and in infants and walkers, how you should have already been teaching them by helping them like play airplane, and you pick up the toys and you help them help you put it away. Did it take longer? Absolutely, it takes longer.
Yes.
And even now, as we get into grade school, particularly lower grade school, it's not going to be as clean as you want it. Get over yourself. They need to learn to work.
And right at the beginning, honestly, it's not even a help, really.
Yeah.
When you're first doing it, it's a training process. As parents, you're training them, and it'll take longer to do these things. And that's, I think, why most parents don't do it. Because we do, instead of train our kids, we want what's the quickest and the easiest for us. and we don't take the time to develop the character that our kids need to be in helping us with the home.
So we discussed in the Castle of Character the need to assign things that they should be doing every day in the character realm. Cleaning the house is something you can do all together. There's a couple different ways to go about it, depending on the age of your children. One method is, if you can get everybody on board, everybody in one room, and go room by room and clean up the house at the end of the day. Your house should not be a pigsty, but at the same time, it shouldn't be a museum.
Right.
Too many women are obsessed with image, and that's a huge thing. Unfortunately, social media is really promoting this image, worldly image thing. Mm-hmm. And so many women, Christian women, have gotten sucked up into that. And the image is, I'm perfect. This is a real problem in Christendom, where a woman wants everyone to think they have no sin, they're perfect people, because as Christians we learn that sin is a wrong thing, and so we portray ourselves very falsely. And part of it comes out in the way we keep our homes so pristine that if your child sneezed, we would be in trouble. That is not an acceptable, it's not a good Christian way to keep your home. Yes, we need to keep our homes clean. But a lot of this, what we're talking about today, is really the fault of the parents and a fault of understanding. Our home was always clean, but it was not a museum. It was very clearly lived in. And if you came early in the morning or, during the school hours, I was a homeschool mom, and even early evening, the house would probably be a bit of a tumbly mess. But by bedtime, nearly every night, we had everything in order and picked up. And one of the early methods was everybody. Okay, I want everybody to come into the kitchen. Let's all work together. We're going to clean it up. And you assign by age, and I'm going to explain that.
And part of this is, of course, we're, especially at the beginning here, we need to supervise what they're doing. And so by being in there with them, you can supervise, you can remind them, okay, let's get back to work. It's not time to play, it's time to work, and that kind of thing. So being everybody together in the same room, it limits the temptation to stop working and to go back to play. And then also it gives us as parents the ease of, okay, they're doing this wrong, let's fix this, let's correct this, let's teach them properly here how to fix what they're not doing properly. And so it's a process, like we said. It's not the easiest way to clean the house, but it's the best way to clean the house, because you're developing your kids in all aspects of life.
As you do this, let me warn you, one of the things I've been in homes where everybody's helping to clean up, and one or the other parent, depending on who, insists on perfection, and this image of perfection is screaming.
Yeah.
Clean it up! Come on! Okay, stop. This should be a fun thing. It should be a very fun, like a game. Okay? Cleaning work should always be portrayed as a very fun thing to do. Never a negative thing, and you shouldn't be screaming like a banshee. And I'll be honest, half the time it was the men screaming like banshees, not the women. So take a chill pill and understand this is part of your job. Your job isn't to be out there making money necessarily. All of us parents need to be rearing your children. And you can't sit there and blame the young snowflake generation that we've got until you stop and look at those parents. What did they do?
Yes.
Or what did they do?
Right.
And you don't want to rear that kind of child. Trust me, they're nasty. And you will hate them eventually. So get everybody involved. Now, we would go room by room, clean it up, get it going. And you can have your house fairly clean at that point. Another thing is at this age group where you need to still keep your eye on them. Laundry is something, okay, Mom, you're going to have to wash it at this point, and we're talking lower grade school here, but everyone can fold it. You need to find a central location, whether it be your living room. My mother always did it on her bed. I did not do that because I did not want them bouncing all over my bed, but which is what I did as a child. But find a spot and sort the laundry. Mom, you'll have to do that. Sort the laundry, but make them learn how to fold it up. Will it be pristine like it's in some kind of high-end shop? No,
it doesn't
but
need
they're
to be
learning how to do it. And then you help them go over to their drawer and put it away. This also stops children from that lovely habit of pulling all their clothes out all over the room. Because if they know they have to fold that all back up and put it away, they're not going to do that anymore. Mm-hmm. So don't fold their laundry for them. Once they're in school, they're 4 years old, they're going to kindergarten, they can fold their own laundry. Not beautifully, but they can do it, and they should be doing it. And you continue that. So that's a lower grade school way to approach house cleaning as a group. Mm-hmm. This includes your yard. You know, if on the weekend after you've done your church activities, many churches have soul winning on Saturday or whatever you're doing with your church, fine, do that as a family. Mm-hmm. And then come home and as a family, do the yard work. Don't just leave that to dad. Have everybody learn how to do the yard work. That's a good thing. So that's lower grade school.
Obviously, a kindergarten's not going to be pushing the lawnmower or even using the weed whacker. But still, they can get a little rake out and rake some stuff up. They can sweep stuff off the sidewalk. They can do put the clippings into a bag. There's a lot of things that you can have them help you with. You know, especially in the fall. You know, you have the leaves, and everyone can help with that. And there's a lot of things that you can do in teaching your kid. Now, if you have a push lawnmower, which a lot of people are going away from that nowadays, but most of them have the upper bar where I push, and the lower bar. And I'd have my kid, honestly, at the beginning, he'd just walk behind it there, and he wouldn't be helping much, but he'd be walking with me, and have his hands on that lower bar, and I'd be pushing the upper bar, and we'd be mowing the lawn together. So there's a lot of things that, you know, use your mind, use your creativity, and figure out. They don't necessarily have to be doing the work of it, especially at the beginning, but they need to be involved in the work of it. Mm-hmm. And whether that be outside, whether that be inside. Don't think that, like my wife was saying, the kids need to be folding laundry. That's not just the girls, by the way, that's the boys too. In fact, we only had boys, but if I had a girl, I'd probably have her on that bar as well at some point. And then inside, you know, the boys doing all the cleaning as well. So we need to keep, yes, we do have certain things that guys are better at than girls are, and vice versa. But on the same, we've created too much of a martial mentality where it's wrong for a boy to do the dishes and to wash the laundry and all this kind of stuff, and that's wrong. That's unbiblical, and we need to get back to training all of our kids to be adept at all aspects.
So now let's talk a little bit about your older grade school kids. Now that they are getting older, they don't need as much supervision. You've done most of the work and the training. And the thing is, your life gets really, really easy right now. This is a really great time of life. Talking upper grade school, and then of course as you get into high school, which we'll discuss later. But this is when you can start assigning certain tasks. As you've been training them, you will start to notice who is better at things. I had one son who, to this very day, he could look at a room with clothes on the floor, dirt, and I would be like, is this room clean? And he'd be like, yep. He cannot see. Now, if you tell him, do this, pick that up, he will do it. But it just wasn't his purview, okay? So giving him the task of sweeping and mopping, not the best idea. So we found something he could do. You need to analyze your children.
Right.
Their skills.
Right. Now, I suggest all of them do everything at some point.
Right.
They all need to do some of it. But as time goes along, you do learn who does what better, what they enjoy to do. And so we do want the work to be enjoyable. And so although at times we will break them away from their better thing and put them back into once or twice, you know, not a continual thing, but put them in something that they're not the best at, just to once again get the habits of it. But yeah, find out what they're best as my wife is saying here.
So at this point, rather than moving, and I'm going to give you another reason here in a minute, but rather than moving as a big mass from room to room, getting it all clean, you can now split it up where we would have a time. It wasn't, okay, this is your job today. Did you get it done? It's bedtime. Oh my gosh, you didn't. I would say, okay, stop. Everybody stop. We're going to clean now. Assign the spots, and then we'd all go to it. And when you do this, you can clean a 3-bedroom house. We have always, here in Brazil where we live, we've always had a 3-bedroom house, at least, often 4, because of the fact that we have to host a lot of people and we also have school at home. So it would be kind of an office, school space. But you can clean a house that size in about an hour to an hour and a half, max. And I'm talking in Brazil, and an American couldn't even comprehend what I'm saying as far as how much work is required to clean a house every day here in Brazil. Compared to America, where it is, you're going to sit there and be like, oh, you just don't know. I do know, and trust me, it's way easier to clean your house in Brazil, or in America. Brazil is very difficult, and we could still get the whole house clean in an hour to an hour and a half, and we would divide. Now, part of that is because they're bigger. You start to get crowded in your space. When they're little, everybody can fit in that bathroom and be cleaning, and mom kind of just has to shimmy a little. But when they get big, it doesn't work.
Right. And by this point, you've already taught them how to do things. You don't have to be supervising them as much. They already know how to do it properly. They know how to do it how you want them to do it. And so you can let them go off on their own and do the work. And you've already developed enough character in them by this point that they're not going to be tempted to go off and play in their room. And they're going to just go and work and do what they're supposed to do. So we can divide and conquer. Now, we're not talking about spring cleaning here in this hour and a half of work, but obviously we can have the house clean there. And what each kid had their preference. Sometimes we'd throw it out there. What do you want to do today? And they would tend to go to the same spot every time. But anyhow, we developed the training aspect and the character in the child there. And aspects that most parents wouldn't want a boy to do. And I again, let me reiterate here, I think boys do need to learn to wash the dishes and do the laundry and even cook. And so many other things that we associate with just women work. And the truth of the matter is, I have a wonderful wife, but she's had a lot of times in her life where her health was not that great. And I had to cook the meals and I had to do other things. And thank goodness I knew how to. And at this point in life, my boys are all married as well. Their wives right now are fairly healthy, but you never know what's going to happen. And if you don't prepare them as a kid, when their wife is ill to the point where the man needs to be taking care of the household stuff, and he has no clue how to do it, it's all going to fall apart.
Absolutely. So our big encouragement in this session is to just encourage you, get your family all working together. Mom, stop doing it all by yourself. It is unexcusable and it's bad parenting. You need to get your kids involved. And mom and dad, you need to be on the same page on this, because if one of you is sitting on the couch while the other one is trying to muster the troops and get it all done, the children will not get fully involved. So both mom and dad, stop being selfish, both of you, because cleaning all by yourself is selfish, because it's just exactly how you want it. And refusing to help is selfish. So everybody get off your derriere, teach your kids how to do this, and get involved as a family. Start making work fun and get your kids involved. And just as we close, I do want to just real quick throw in there, we did not pay our children for this.
Right.
They are not getting paid. They need to learn to work because it's right, not because they're going to get paid for it. And we'll talk more about that later in another episode.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us for one more episode of Building Families in the Faith. Love to hear from you. If you have any questions, any suggestions on topics that you'd like us to talk on, please let us know. And we'd love to do that for you. Excuse me. God bless.